Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining our event today. Researcher and Research Student Enrichment Program, or we usually call it R2SEP. Before we start our agenda today, I will read out the important information to all attendants. First, please fill the attendance form on the provided link, which will be shared in the Zoom chat room by our families. The link will be closed in 15 minutes. Second, please fill the feedback form on the provided link, which will be shared in the Zoom chat room 15 minutes before the session ends, and it will be closed after 1 hour. Third, the attendance and feedback are compulsory for these purposes. A. Attendance is mandatory for the new IPS master and doctoral students. The certificate of participation is eligible who have 80% attendance or minimum 7 meetings. C. It is for STEM for it, which is eligible for IPS undergraduate students. Participants who wish to ask questions during the Q&A session, please send your question at the provided link in the Zoom chat room, or alternatively, you may raise your hand during the Q&A session to ask your question directly. Welcome to the Researcher and Research Student Enrichment Program on today, Thursday, 2022. I am Novia from IPS Postgraduate Office, and I will be your Master of Ceremony for this session. Before we start the session, allow me to inform you our today's agenda as follows. For the first agenda is the opening by MC, continued by the introduction to the moderator and the speaker. After that, we will get to the agenda, the lecture session, then followed by Q&A session, and it will be ended with the conclusion and closing. I would like to remind you again to fill your attendance form shared through the provided link in the Zoom chat room, which will be closed in 15 minutes from now. Before moving to the next agenda, please allow me to elaborate about today's lecture. Today's lecture theme in the tab is about getting published, which will be delivered by our speaker, Associate Professor, CS Dr. Nasrul Fazli bin Monasir from University Malaysia Perlis or UNINEP, and Mrs. Aida Anissa Amindaman, SPMD from IPS, who will be the one conducting our today's session as our moderator.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. Sorry.
Let me introduce you to our moderator for today. Our moderator today, Mrs. Aida Anissa Amindaman, SPMD, is graduated from IPS with Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering and Master of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering. Currently, she is a lecturer and enthusiast researcher at the Department of Mechanical Engineering, IPS. Her research interests are energy harvester mechanism, dynamic balance, and mechanical of vibration. Without further ado, let's proceed to the main agenda. To Mrs. Aida Anissa as our moderator, the time is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Novia. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending our meeting here of Researcher and Research Students Enrichment Program. And this is a sixth session, which is the topic is about getting published. This topic will be presented by Associate Professor Dr. Nasrul Fazli bin Monasir. Let me read the curriculum vitae of Dr. Nasrul. For educational background, Dr. Nasrul got his Bachelor of Biomedical Engineering in Faculty of Engineering, University of Malaya, Malaysia. And then for Master of Science in Biomedical Engineering in Yale University, United Kingdom. And then for PhD in Electrical and Computer Engineering, School of Electrical and Computer Engineering, RMIT University in Australia. And for academic and professional experience of Dr. Nasrul, he is an associate professor and head of division medical instrument in biomedical electronic engineering program in University Malaya Perlis. And then he is former deputy dean of Students Affairs and Alumni, School of Mechatronic Engineering in University Malaysia Perlis. And he is also an editorial board member of SM Journal of Polymer Science. And for the research interest is in the application of natural resources from Malaysian biodiversity to fabricate tissue engineering scaffold. Today we will get the insight of how getting published. Without further ado, let's meet Ms. Dr. Nasrul Fazli. The time is yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon. Thank you, Ms. Moderator, for your lovely introduction. Okay, today I'm honored. Today I'm honored because have been invited by the Institute Technology 10 November to present some you can say some advice, okay, some tips on how to get published. It is a very important topic for research students and also for lecturers. I know this is not an ultimate or the only way, okay, but this is perhaps like a sharing session with all the audience. Okay, so I think we have already. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah. About the introduction, I think the moderator have already introduced me. Okay, so can we go to the third slide, which is on the research paper writing cycle? Is it possible? Okay.
Excuse me, would you like us to operate the slides or?
Yeah. Can you do this for me?
Oh, okay.
Because my line is unstable, so I think it will be heavy for me to operate from here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Please wait.
Okay. So at the meantime, okay, while the moderator and also the host is operating the presentation, okay, I have been lecturer and also academician, okay, for about 17 years. After I graduated from my master's, I joined University Putra Malaysia as a tutor for a year, and in 2005 I joined the University Malaysia Police. At that time they just established a biomedical engineering program. It is actually the third biomedical engineering program in Malaysia. And I was told, okay, and I know, okay, from docent, okay, from ITS, you also have a biomedical engineering here too, and we have already some collaboration. Okay, we have some collaboration. We have meetings before online, and we hope that we can have further collaboration with the department. Okay, so. Okay, this is the third slide, okay, of my presentation. Okay, can you bear with me? Okay, I'm sorry, I need to I need to minimize my Zoom first. Okay, so what is all about? Okay, if you want to write a research paper, to imagine yourself like, what if you are in like 500 years ago, 1000 years ago, okay, the scholars, we have learned about the scholars in the past. They want to disseminate the knowledge. And what will they do? They will write books, okay, they will write all the philosophy, they will write all the history, okay. Like last time when you know, like Darwin, even Thomson and other scientists, okay, they have conferences, and when they attend the conferences, the other things they will do, okay, they're not much different from our past scholars, okay, like those the imams and also some of the ulamas, okay. They write something, and we call it research paper. Okay, so at the first time you need to set your goals. Okay, you need to set your goals. Okay, what you're going to write. Okay, especially if you are doing your masters, okay, your S2, your S3, your masters, your PhD, you need to set what is your target. Okay, and while you want to write your paper, what you should do, you should read more papers, okay, to build your fundamental, your basic, okay, what you are going to write. And while you are reading those papers, you cannot just swallow everything. Yeah, you cannot swallow everything. You need to criticize. Okay, what is actually okay in those papers? What happened? You need to analyze. Okay, you need to analyze, and you need to see whether that paper has something to do with your work. And after you got all your ideas, okay, then you can start your writing. And this this come concurrently with your work. You are doing your experiments, okay. This one, the one that I told you just now, maybe perhaps more like a review paper, okay. But if let's say you are writing a research paper on your experiments, okay, and your projects or your studies, you need to do it concurrently, okay, with your work. Okay, then you start writing. You look and you review your writing, okay, see whether it makes sense or not. And after that, you go for your publication, and this process will keep on happening, okay, until we until we die, perhaps. Okay, so this is what happens, okay, during writing your paper. Okay, can we go to the another slide? Okay. Okay, so I have just touched about, okay, why we write papers, okay, especially the scientific papers. Naturally, we want to publish our scientific results. Okay, we have something to share. We want to share our results with the world. Okay, with fellow academicians, with fellow scholars. You want to okay, you want not to show off, and that's not the right word to use. Okay, you want to share. You want to say, hey, I have done this, I've done that. Okay, can somebody, okay, read my work? Okay, can somebody perhaps give some advice on my work? So this is one of the reasons why we want to write a paper. So while they are reading your work, okay, they can confirm your results. Okay, so how this happens? Okay, this is through the review. They will review your paper. They will say, okay, whether this work makes sense or not. It is not intended to belittle our work, okay, but we want to make sure that our work is on track. And usually, and not usually, it is a must actually, the person who want to so-called confirm our results is a person who is expert in the field. Not anybody, okay? Not everybody can confirm our work. Yeah? So they will come and, okay, review our works, okay? And then perhaps, okay, after we have published our papers, okay, and let's say it attracts interest of others. Some people may want to extend our work. So this will create a reference, a citation of our works. Okay, and then some concepts, okay, because it is difficult, okay, to be understood. This is what writing papers for, actually. Okay, we want the other people, to follow the works, okay, and then to understand more of the work. Especially this is very narrow. Okay, the work is very narrow, the topic is very narrow. As you know, when you become the S2 and S3 students, masters or PhD students, okay, you are not the expert on everything. Okay, like myself, I'm working on the tissue scaffold made from the starch, okay, and also from hydroxyapatite. So the topic will be very narrow. Not everybody is going to know about it. So if they read our paper, they will know, okay, what is tissue scaffold, they will know what is hydroxyapatite, how starch can be used in making tissue scaffold. Okay, this concept that can be explained to the audience. And more like a personal reasons, okay, for ourselves, okay, we can advertise, okay, the new technology. This is good for us, okay, for our country, actually. Okay, we like for us, we in Malaysia, we know what are you doing in biomedical engineering in Indonesia, something like that. You know what is happening in Malaysia in terms of perhaps like biomaterials, you know, something in electrical engineering, maybe perhaps in solar technology. Okay, so you can publicize the technology you are developing, and this is for humanity. So everybody can have the benefits out of it. And another one, okay, definitely, okay, this is for the lecturers, okay, for the students. You want to graduate, some, okay, your supervisor may say that, okay, you need to publish 2 conference papers and 1 journals in order for you to graduate. So this is more like a career advancement, even for lecturers, okay, perhaps to obtain associate professor, okay, perhaps you need to publish like 3 ISI journals, okay, 2 journals. This is for promotion. And not everybody, okay, are looking for that. Perhaps just for satisfaction. Okay, we have published something, and this is actually the more, I think, more genuine. You feel satisfied because you have contributed to the world. Okay, you have contributed yourself, your work in science. And I know, like for instance, like when I did my PhD, okay, I know I regard him as my mentor. Okay, Dr. Patrick Leach. Okay, I think he's already 80 something. When I did my PhD, he's in his 70, I think, in his 70 or maybe late 60s. He's already retired, but he came to the lab, do all the studies and researches, and then he published. He gained nothing. He doesn't what we call don't get promotion for that, but just for satisfaction. So this is one of the instances, okay, where people publish paper, okay, not for anybody else, but for ourselves, for himself. And another thing is that, okay, the university has target. The university has her or his own target. Okay, perhaps like for instance, to make the ranking better, because when the ranking better, then more people will come. More people will come to study. Okay, because they got there's a there's a bit of trust from the public. Bit of trust to the public. Okay, saying that, oh, ITS have published a lot in this good journals, very good journals in Elsevier, okay, in Wiley, okay. So this is a very good university. So the university will encourage the lecturers, the students, okay, to publish in good journals. So this is one of the motivation. Okay, so now I think we have done a bit on the motivation side. So now we go to the real world. Okay, can we move on to the next slide? Okay, so in the paper, basically, okay, now we just take, talk about a general paper. Okay, it can be a proceeding where you go for a conference. Okay, you go for a conference and then you publish. Okay, you go to the conference. Okay, and then you present your paper. Okay, it can be a proceeding. It can be a book chapter. Actually, it can be a book chapter where after usually we take it from like what we practice. Okay, not entirely true. Sometimes, okay, we feel that, oh, this is a good practice for the S1 student, for the degree students, for the bachelor degree students, okay, to write a scientific paper, okay, but it is in the form of book chapter, but that is not confined only for S1 people. Even like myself, okay, we still write a book chapter. Okay? A book chapter is also comprised of this abstract, introduction, theories and methodologies, okay, results and discussion and conclusion. And this is also applied to very good journals, okay, like for instance, Nature and Science, okay. I'm not into that level yet, okay, to publish in the Nature or Science, okay, but this is a basic components if you want to write a paper, a scientific paper. You should have the abstract, okay. You should have an introduction. You should have a theories or methodology. Sometimes they call it a materials and methods. Okay, method and methods. Some they separate results and discussions. Sometimes they put it together. Okay, and some choose to have a conclusion, and perhaps some may say that there's no such thing as conclusion. But this is a general format. I also have a it depends on different fields actually. Okay, sometimes we have a they make it into components of what type of study or what type of project they are doing. Okay, so meaning that although generally, I would like to say that a paper would have this format, but this is not confined to this. But I think this is a good start, a very good start if you want to write a paper today. Okay, you have your abstract. Okay, I think nobody says that. Okay, we can move to abstract. Okay, definitely. Okay, definitely we have abstract. Okay, we have abstract. Why? Because abstract is something like a trailer. If it is a movie, it is a trailer. Okay, people want to know what is your work. People want to know what is your work. Okay, before you're going to I know. Okay, you watch a movie because of, like, for instance, somebody say, "Oh, this movie is good. This movie is very good." Okay, so yes, let's go tonight to watch this movie. Okay, but usually sometimes you will look at you will watch a trailer first. Okay, the trailer is good, it's full of action, sound. Okay, this movie is okay. I won't be sleeping in the theater in the movie. Okay, during the movie. So this is also the same with the abstract. The abstract is very important because it will give some preview. Okay, will give you preview of your work. Okay, and if you have a note with you, I would like, besides of the notes there, okay, in the slide, okay, perhaps I will add up a bit. Okay, what should we have in the abstract? Okay, the abstract should be concise yet comprehensive. This is a bit tricky because you need to play with the. I know you're scared when you see the final sentence. 150 to 250 words, so little. There's so much to say, but little words to use. You know, that kind of situation. But it is manageable. Okay, it is manageable. Because first of all, you need to have, okay, this is in the abstract, you need to have the introduction. You need to have a 1 or 2 sentence which introduce, okay, your work. What is the problem actually, some sort, okay, and then after that you have a bit of problem statement. Okay, what you are going to study, this problem statement. I always use this analogy of problem statement. Problem statement, like for instance, you want to solve a problem. Okay, for instance, if you want to go to Surabaya, why you are going to Surabaya? It's a problem, isn't it? It's okay. So you need to tell the problem. How you solve your problem? Okay, perhaps you you drive your car, something like that, So you need to have a problem statement. After you have the problem statement, you, in the abstract, you need to mention, okay, mention your methods and methodology. Okay, your methodology, perhaps some depends on what type of project or studies. Okay, you need to mention the materials you are using. Okay, a bit of your results, okay, and a bit of your analysis. Your what we call your significant, the most significant results of all, okay, that you want to share. Okay, a bit of analysis, okay, and then a bit of a conclusion. You need to wrap up. Okay, so the abstract, which is 150 to 250 words, okay, perhaps you can go up to 300. Okay, 250, okay, it's just like like imsak lah, before you're going to your fajar, your fajar, just like that. Okay, but if let's say 300 is okay, but not too many. Okay, if let's say you are writing your thesis, okay, if it is more than 1 page, I think that it's not mean trouble, but try to avoid it. Okay, try to avoid. So if you want to summarize what I said just now, okay, it's about the microcosm of the full article. So it's like a mini of your paper, because when, okay, for instance, as if people want to appoint me as a reviewer, okay, they want to appoint me as a reviewer. If they want to have my consent, first of all, I will read the abstract, because the abstract will tell everything about the article. Just like I told you about the movie, the trailer. Okay, if the trailer is not good, you don't want to watch the movie. Okay, maybe perhaps you want to watch a movie, maybe it's a free one. Okay, not you're not going to buy I'm not sure how many rupiah is it, okay, but you don't want to spend, like in Malaysia it's like 15 to 20 ringgit. I don't want to spend for this movie. Okay, if it's free, maybe perhaps I will go, but if it is, okay, cost you money, if it is not free, you won't go. Okay, can we move to the other slide? Thank you. Okay, on the introduction. So I'm not sure how many of you have in your final stage of writing your thesis. Okay, this can be complex in one way. It can be complex in one way. Okay, because while you are writing your thesis, you have your introduction and then you have literature review. To write a paper, okay, the introduction is just like a combination of your introduction and also your literature review. So it can be the toughest part in your paper. So be careful of this. It can be the toughest part of paper, because you need to, okay, summarize 2 of those big chapters. Okay, but let's say, okay, but you need to choose what information. Okay, the first thing is that a tips. Perhaps, okay, the most is like 1 page and a bit of 3 or 4 lines will be okay. 1 page will be very good for introduction. Okay, if it is double column, perhaps like okay, of a paper, perhaps slightly more than 1 column, okay, or 2 columns will be okay, I think. But you need to carefully choose the information. First of all, you need to introduce your the previous work. Okay, previous work accordingly to the title. Okay, the title of a project you are doing. Okay, and then as usual, the problem statement. Okay, objective can be embedded. Okay, can be embedded there, but okay, it's not like your thesis writing. It is embedded there. Okay, what you're going to do, what you're going to solve. Okay, and then you need to analyze. Okay, the previous works. Okay, what people have done. And the most important part for me, okay, is that where it is going to head to. Okay, where you're going to. Then after that you will go to the next chapter. Okay, I'm not going to the next slide. Yeah, okay, we will indulge more in this slide. Okay, so this section reflects extensive review of literature done by the previous researchers. Okay, so you hear that you need to read a lot. Okay, if you go to our earlier slides. Okay, in the second slide. Okay, the third slides. Okay, in our third slides, you need to read a lot of papers. Okay, that have something to do with your topic. Okay, so it is like storytelling actually. Okay, to make it easy, it's just like a storytelling. So that's why, okay, abstract is like a trailer. Okay, introduction is like early of your movie, something like that, or perhaps a book. Okay, you need to keep, okay, the audience have already got the interest of reading your paper in the abstract. Now, how to make sure they keep on reading? This is a tough job, but it's doable. Okay, so that's why you need to have extensive review of previous works. Okay, and then you need to make them comfortable with the topic. So you must make your work, okay, sounds coherent, relevant, and it is easily readable. So they will keep their interest, okay, of reading the whole paper, not only on your abstract, perhaps 2 or 3 lines of introduction, and then they start put it aside. Okay, try to avoid that. So you must, okay, how to build the interest is that, okay, you should mention the problem. You should present it, make it very significant, make it very relevant, very relevant, so that the readers, okay, in this slide, it what we call it pointed to the reviewers, okay, for your paper to be accepted. But for me, okay, reviewers is one thing, but the general audience, when you have when people say, oh, this paper is easy, they will cite you, they will read you, they will keep it, they will keep your paper with them, okay, for forever. As long as they do the research, they will keep it. Okay, and then after that, okay, the contributions, okay, what you are going to go to, okay, will be stated clearly. Okay, we can move to the other slide. Okay. One thing, the tips for the, okay, although I mentioned to move to the next slide. Okay, this is, okay, although this is always the third chapter of the paper, okay, although this is the third part of the paper, my advice, okay, this is the advice from my seniors, okay, I forgot already, is it from my supervisors, or but I think mostly my seniors, where when I first joined the UNIMAP, University of Malaysia Police. Okay, this chapter is the first chapter you should write when you want to write a paper. I don't put it in the slide, because of okay, because of Yeah, we will know who attend the lecture or who just open the open the Zoom and then they go somewhere else and have drink. Okay, this is the first one. Okay, they advise me. Okay, this is the easiest chapter of all in your paper. Huh? To be written actually because perhaps because you are doing the work. You are doing the work. Okay, you are doing the work, and you know what step. This is like a cookbook actually. Cookbook, we can say it's a manual. Okay, so you will mention your methods, your techniques. Okay, perhaps maybe you can also add up the advantage. Okay, there are two. Okay, I'm sorry to I hope I'm not confusing you. Okay, there are many school of thoughts. Okay, some while I'm examining and reviewing papers on thesis, some said that it is not advisable to what I call cite in this part. Okay, but for me, I'm quite democratic on this. Okay, I'm quite open. If it is where you can what we call you can cite, okay, where it is possible because you want to show your novelties and contribution, why not? Okay, but there are school of thoughts that doesn't like you cite in the methodologies depending on your you should ask your supervisor what the school of thoughts they are following. But for myself, depends. I'm more like it's better just the methodology, okay, because you are not sure what type of reviewer or examiner that are going to read your work. Okay, you are not sure. It's on the safe side. Don't have to cite, but for myself, I think it's good also if it is logical. Okay, then why not? Okay, but the most important part of it is that you can show your method soundly, logically, okay, and it is known, okay, from your reading, it has a very strong fundamental, okay, it has been done previously by previous researchers. I know while you are doing your work, perhaps you try to replicate the work that have been done by the previous researchers, but unfortunately it is not repeatable. I know sometimes, okay, not sometimes, many times, but don't worry, okay, this is the part that you need to clarify. Okay, you need to clarify. Like I told you again, for the third point, okay, you can compare with the previous techniques, but it is good. It is good if you can show the improvement. What actually? So this is one of the novelty. This is one of the novelty. Perhaps, okay, like for instance, in terms of my field, okay, perhaps you use a different technique. Okay, different technique, or perhaps different material. You use you use the same technique, but you use a different material. And sometimes you need modification. This modification can be an improvement. It is your novelty. Nobody have used this method before. Nobody have used this algorithm before. Nobody have used this what we call methods, okay, before. So when you add up all the things, okay, so this is type of improvement. So believe me, okay, this is the easiest part of all to write a paper. So if you want to write a paper, please start with the methodologies. Okay, with the methodology first. So this will build your confidence. You have more confidence. Oh, after you finish the third chapter, okay, your third chapter, not after you have finished your third section, okay, you have your confidence. Sometimes because when you want to read other papers and so on, so you feel sometimes it's difficult. Okay, but when you go to methodology, you are doing the work. Okay, the cookbook is with you. The cookbook is with you. You know the recipe already. You have your confidence. So I would like to advise you that the first chapter, okay, is this chapter or this part or this section. Okay, can we move to the next slide? Thank you. Okay, so after you have show how do you do your work, okay, your experiments, then now you need to convince people with your results. Okay, for a paper to be published, you need to have, first of all, definitely a sound results. Sound result. We can say it's a good results. Definitely, we can say a good results, but yeah, because we are not sure yet. Good to us, perhaps for the review, this is bad. Okay, so I tone it down a bit. Say, okay, it is a sound results. It is the what we call when you get the result. That's the happiest moment. Okay, while we're doing your work. Okay, we can say that. Okay, the other one is sufficient. Okay, if you have a good result, but it is not sufficient, perhaps your work can be rejected. Okay, perhaps your work can be rejected. So these two things is a must. First of all, you have a good results. Okay, you're happy with the results. Your supervisor is happy with the result. Okay, and the result is sufficient. It's not like, okay, you get one result today. No, perhaps in certain field, okay, one result is enough to publish. At least in the what I call it, in the proceedings, in the conference proceedings, perhaps, but mostly you need 2 or 3 results, so perhaps more than that. Okay, so it will make sure that you can publish the your paper. Okay, and then the experimental data that consolidates the. Okay, so it is something that that your work is sound. You know that sometimes for instance in my work, I'm doing mostly nowadays nowadays mostly on the biomaterials, like for instance about when you mix up things, mix the materials together, it should produce some trends. So the data that you have as your results must be coherent with your techniques. Sometimes perhaps one thing that don't consolidate your techniques or theory, that perhaps there's a contamination, other materials come in, something like that. So that to make it simple, the result is not logic. The result is not logic. So you have to make sure that everything is coherent, and then the result is consolidating the techniques. The result is one thing. You have a very beautiful result, but it is not enough with just a beautiful face. You need to do analysis. You need to do comparison. You need to cite. Then now you need to compare with other works, especially the latest work. That's why people keep on mentioning, oh, please cite the last 5 years. Why? Because here is important. I know it is also good in introduction, but this is most critical. That's why sometimes your supervisor, they ask you to, you have to cite. You even the university, even the institute, technology 10 November ask you to, better 5 years back, not more than that. Why? Because that is the latest finding on the topic. So this makes sure that your result will be the latest. Another one is that this is rare. This is rare, but we are humans. Sometimes like I always say to my we always say to to our to my kids, to your brothers or sisters, younger brothers, younger sisters, the thing that you always advise not to do, that's the thing that you want to do. So yeah, so okay, make sure you don't put data that is not relevant to your work. Okay, apart from theories and methodologies, this is the second topic you should write. Okay, this is the second. Okay, first of all, you write your methodology, then you write your results and discussion, because you are dealing it every day. This is the second part, I think the easiest for you to write. Okay, okay, can we move to the finally about the conclusion. Again, this is about the school of thought. Okay, I've met already a school of thought saying that you shouldn't conclude anything, because that is not the end of your, just like movie, you thought that you will just end with one film. Then you have the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, just like the Avengers lah. Every year they have one. Spider-Man also. Now they have multiverse. A lot of films. So they said, okay, but forget about that school of thought. Okay, you should have for me as a starter. Okay, just make a conclusion. Conclusion. Sometimes, okay, people, reviewers or general audience, okay, in your field, after they read your abstract, okay, and perhaps they want to cite your work, they will go straight to the conclusion. That's why although I said there might be a school of thought saying the conclusion is not needed, okay, but remember my advice. If somebody want to cite your paper, they will go to your conclusion. Sometimes they want to just to know what is conclusion. Hey, is this work good or not? How many grams that is being used? Okay, is this algorithm is good, or can we use it for cancer? Can we use it for to treat this disease? Can we use it to improve the what I call the gain of something? Sometimes they just want to see that, just want to get that particular sentence, that particular word or particular sentence, just that. They don't want anything else. They just want that. Okay, so for me personally, conclusion should be included in your paper, because some people, okay, especially those who want to fast read your paper, will go to your conclusion. Okay, because usually it is more straightforward. Because why? Because you just elaborate on your importance of your works. Okay, the importance of your works, your main findings, and perhaps some of the application or extension of it. Okay, so here another thing. Okay, you may write your conclusion first. I think there's no general rule whether you should write your conclusion or abstract first, but usually when you write your paper, okay, introduction will come last, usually, or perhaps the title will come last. You have a general title, okay, perhaps after you have finished already writing your paper, okay, you say that, okay, this title is not that good. How about make it more dramatic, or make it more interesting? Ask your lab partner, is this title is good enough? I think not. Okay, you should do it. Okay, I change it. Okay, so maybe perhaps the title will be the last, but generally I can say introduction is tricky. Okay, introduction is a bit tricky. So perhaps you can, after you make your methodologies, you go to your what we call result discussion. Okay, you go to conclusion. Okay, then perhaps you go to your abstract and your introduction, and after that you may adjust a bit of your presentation. Okay, can we move to the other slide? Thank you. Okay, So this is after you have finished everything. Okay, I think your papers. Okay. Okay. This is something I know. It's just a challenge, because we are not a native speaker. We are not a native speaker. Okay, English native speaker. Even if we, like for instance, we okay, this is the what I call all the tips, all the issues that been covered in the previous slides. It's also applied not only for uh, English, what I call like journal in English, but also in Bahasa Indonesia, in any languages, in any language. Okay, so this technique applied to all type of journals actually, generally. Okay, it's not about only about English. Okay, but because most of the reputable journals are in English, sometimes they do. Okay, when they, you know, in bahasa Melayu they call it laras bahasa, the style. Okay, sometimes the style maybe perhaps the for us it's okay, but sometimes okay when they read this sound funny, to them it sound funny. So you need to proofread. Okay, if you have uh, a partner, okay, flatmate, a partner, your supervisor, or perhaps in the department, okay, even the university have a language department, okay. This is one of the way. Maybe they can prove it for you. There are also professional proofreaders, okay, but okay, it depends on your budget. Okay, it depends on your budget, okay. So, but the important point is that okay, before even you submit to the proofreader, okay, whether they are professional, okay, or whether they are from your own department or even your lab mate or study mate, okay, make sure that not much grammatical mistakes, okay, so that if you can what we call minimize it, okay, that will be good. Okay, and every piece of the information, okay, like I told you, just like a movie, like in drama, okay, every scene is good to be seen, to be watched. So this is the same with the uh, with the uh, with the scientific papers. Okay, you need to make sure that you can make sure that the audience stay with you. It's just like a storytelling. It's just like a storytelling, because if people don't understand your work, okay, they feel bored, okay, and the worst thing is that okay, it is rejected because they don't understand it. That then you'll be terrible. Okay, so you need to make sure that the storytelling is good. Okay, it should show the values of your work, and yeah, please read it few times, many times, so that it is well prepared. It's well prepared. Make sure that your supervisor read it. Okay, make sure perhaps your research team, your research team also have a good read. Have a good read of it. Okay, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, thank you. Okay, so why are papers written, okay, by the journals, or even sometimes happen in the conference proceedings, okay. It is not in the proper format. This is like eyesore actually. It is very irritating for 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 the reviewers, okay, for the what we call for the editors, because usually before you send it to the before you send it to the what we call to the journals, okay, before you send it to the conference, they already giving you the format. Okay, you need to make sure that the uh, format is followed. This is the easiest one, and this is one of the way. Okay, sometimes the editor and perhaps even reviewer want to see how careful are you in writing the paper. Okay, if you can do this mistake, you can do many mistakes. You may do terrible mistake in your experiments. So format is somehow, some way as indication how serious are you, how careful are you of you in your work. So Yeah, it's not rejected. Definitely, it's not rejected. Huh? But it can be one of the reason it is written. It is written back to you. Okay. Another reason. Okay, this is always the excuse. Excuses given excuse but given by the editors, by the reviewers. Actually, at the editors level. Okay, this is not within the scope. Okay, another tips. It's not included in the slide. Okay, um, you should before you submit the paper. Okay, you should already aim what type of journal you are going to submit or proceeding. What type of a conference you want to submit your work. Okay, if you are okay, I know there are many journals which are general. Okay, but there are some which are very specific. Okay, like for instance, like in my field, there's like a ceramic international. Okay, uh, stash. There's a there's that kind of journals. Okay, some are very specific. Okay, some can be very general, but you need to make sure that the scope, okay, the scope of the journal is sufficient, is okay, is within the scope. So one of the tips to submit, okay, to submit your paper is that you see, you observe, okay, you have already locked the journal first. Okay, this topic, okay, so this is interesting for your work. Okay, so you tailor your writing towards the common, towards towards the what called the norm of the journal. How does it write? Okay, in okay, lenggok bahasa. How does it? What is the style? Okay, the style of the journal. So yeah, you tailor it towards the journal. Okay, and but the most critical, perhaps for this maybe the first year, second year. Okay, you still have time. Okay, actually your work doesn't have sufficient technical content. This is critical. This is very critical. That's why it need to go to the previous in the result discussion. If you still remember, you need to have a good result and also a sufficient result. Okay, so you need to see the journal. So you need to have a reference, your what I call your core reference. Okay, how many results they publish? Okay, how many what I call sub of it, subtopics of it. Okay, they have this. Okay, they have this experiment 1, experiment 2, experiment 3, experiment 4, 5. Okay, then it is publishable. Not only 1 and 2. Perhaps 1 and 2 is just for conference proceedings, but not for good journals. Okay, perhaps we go to that after this about the Q1, Q2, and Q4. Okay, perhaps Q4 maybe just 3 will be enough. So please be alert on this. Please be alert. Okay. Can we go to the next slide? I know time is running out. Okay. Okay. So later in my presentation, I keep on mentioning journals. Okay. Conference proceedings. Okay. For me, if you are like your first, second year, third year, or maybe perhaps like your first year. Okay. And if let's say you are just, it's just like in Wikipedia, like you have your sandbox. You are just practicing. Okay, practice how to write. A conference proceeding will be good enough for me. Will be good enough for even for my students. Okay, I will be I encourage them to publish the proceeding first, because it is not that strict. Okay, and the proceeding is really, the conference proceeding is just to see your idea. Okay, although most of the conferences, okay, they would like to see some groundwork, some groundwork, okay, done. Okay, but there are some conferences which is can be lenient. They just want to see your idea. Yeah, I know some where I'm doing my PhD last time. Okay, they just want to see, they just want to see your idea. Okay, where there's all the scholars, the academician in the field will, like, for instance, when you're presenting in the conference, okay, they will criticize, okay? They will sometimes they praise you, sometimes they criticize, they comment on your work. Okay, so proceeding will be a good start. Then you can go to national journal or international journals. Okay. It can doesn't mean that if it is national, it is easier. Sometimes a national journal, they have more strong critics compared to the international journal. Some of them have a good SI or impact factor, but okay, it is not as tough as a national journal. It can be like that, but there are some because of these national journals. Okay, whether it is in Scopus, it is index. For instance, in Malaysia, we have this my site. Okay, I'm not sure in Indonesia, but I think Indonesia also should have your own local citation what I call body. Perhaps you have. Okay, but yeah. So this will monitor the national journal. Okay, so for international journals, okay, some of it may perhaps have already indexed in Scopus. Okay, those with the impact factors. Okay, it is what I call index in ISI Thompson. Okay, so what is actually impact factor? Impact factor is the citations by the total number of articles published in 2 previous years. So if, like, say, there's if the impact factor of a journal is 1, means that on average the articles published is in 1 or 2 years is just been cited 1 time. So the average is that in that 2 years, average the journals, the journal articles averagely just 1 citation. So that's the meaning of impact factor. So this is something to do with the impact of the work. Okay, so that's why if, let's say, it has a 7 impact factor, means that in the past 2 years, in average, the article in the journals have 7. But I know, some have already, some reaches hundreds, even thousands. So it can be like that. Okay, but generally, this is the easiest way to explain what is impact factor all about. And there's a quartile. Quartile. We have a Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Q1 is 35% top. Top 35% in the field. Okay. The Q4 is the last 25%. About 35%. But usually it has a what we call the impact factor. Okay. Then you have your H index. Okay. H index is like if a person have a 5 H index, it is about the papers. The person got the 5 papers at least have been cited for 5 times. That's a layman way to understand what is H index. So if the person have like 10, means that he at least got the 10 citation for the 10 publications. Okay, can we move to the next slide? I think we have like 4-5 minutes already, Mr. Moderator. Okay.
Yes, it is 4 minutes more.
4 minutes more. Okay. So this is one of the way. Okay, impact factor I've already explained it. It's a measure reflecting the average number of citations. Okay, to the published articles, and then this is one. The quartile, Q1 top 25%, and then the lowest 25%. But they all have impact factor. Okay, can we move to the other slide? Okay. So citation is actually somebody refer. Okay, so citation, for academician, it is important because we want to observe how important is our work. I know sometimes, we can say it's not fair in some way, but this is the easiest way. Because if people cite your work, it means that, your work attracted the other scholars. Okay, I know we like to have like, and I know, okay, then in Islam we have Imam Bukhari, you know, so there's a lot of citation, everybody was citing him, Imam Bukhari, Imam Muslim. So we want our work to be like that. Many people are citing him, but okay, but in yeah, in scientific work, okay, in scientific papers, okay, we hope that people recite, because of this will show the importance of your work. Okay, so H index, I've mentioned about how to what is all this 17 H index is all about, 5 H index is all about, but this is an attempt to measure the productivity and impact of the work of academician. This one only. Okay, can we go to the next slide? Okay, not that many more. Okay, just one or two more. Okay, so this is then some may ask, okay, oh, I see this, for instance, I take one example, for instance, Journal of Electromagnetic Applications. Okay, it is Q2. Okay, in one field, but it can be Q3 in applied physics. Maybe Q2 is in the in electrical journals. Okay, but for applied physics it become Q3. And this happens because if you compare, for instance, some like, for instance, in engineering, okay, in materials perhaps it is Q2, okay, but in biomedical engineering it can be Q1. So it can be like that. It depends on the field. Depends on the field. Okay, and this is okay. In the second column, it's about the so some of the journals can have a good the what I call it, impact factor is higher than the previous years. This is why, because more people are citing it. But sometimes the journal have run out of what we call popularity. Okay, maybe some feel that the work is not that good, so people go to other journals. But okay, for maybe for new researchers, those who just want to try to publish, perhaps you can see, oh, this low impact factor may perhaps what I call perhaps attract you more than the Q1 journals, but yeah, we can try. Okay, so these are some of the journals I have published already in 2020, 2021. Okay, this is some of the examples. Okay, I published in International Journal of Biological Macromolecules. Okay, even like a Journal of Colloid and Interface Science. And one journal is the JMIRT. Okay, but it gains popularity among the among those involved in material science and material engineering. Okay, I won't. Okay, this is last 3 slides. Okay, acknowledgement. I have to acknowledge. Okay, the slides being freely adapted from Dr. Hasliza. Okay, he's a mentor for me. Okay, in the research methodology. I taught the research methodology in UNIMAP. I was given the opportunity. So this is one of the topic I've been diamanahkan, been asked to present and also to deliver. Like to also thanks Dr. Muzamil, and also for the advanced communication engineering for this slide. Okay, finally. Okay, I know this is the final one. Okay, can we move to the next slide? Okay. Oh, you don't have. Oh, okay. The previous one. Do you have a? Oh, I think. Allah Akbar. Okay. Okay, I just mentioned it by words. Okay, because this is not in the latest version. But perhaps not in the latest version of the slide. Okay. Okay. Apart from just one more minute, Mr. Moderator. I'm sorry. Okay, one more minute. Apart from publication in the what I call journals, okay, this Q1 journal, in the conference proceedings. There are other publications that, okay, perhaps especially after you have graduated from your PhD, from your S3, S2, okay, with the permission of your supervisor, maybe like in the newspaper article, okay, newspaper article. Maybe perhaps after some Q&A, maybe or during the Q&A, I will show this slide to you guys, okay? Because we need to, I think you also use this phrase, memasyarakatkan penyelidikan. You want to make sure that all the societies also know your research. Perhaps you can publish it in the mainstream newspaper. Maybe you can go to the TV, okay? Maybe to the perhaps in the TV show. This is one of a way how to disseminate. Although this is not in the scope of our talk about this getting published, but okay, we want to make sure that the knowledge being disseminated freely. So yeah, you can think about that avenue too. Okay, although okay, to make sure that you pass your H2, S3, you need to publish definitely, but okay, to make sure that everybody, especially in the society, okay, that don't have the access to the journal papers and so on, okay, they have the opportunity to know your research. Okay, maybe from magazines and or maybe from the popular media. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you very much. Okay, alhamdulillah, thank you. So I pass the session to the moderator. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nasrul, for the insightful presentation. I think my previous questions have been answered by your presentation here. Okay, so the next agenda is question and answer. For the participants, you can place your question in the chat box or in the link provided by committee. I will check the question box here. Oh, there is a question from Ms. Rona Riantini. Would you please share tips to avoid repetition in abstract discussion and conclusion? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
Pardon?
Ms. Rona Riantini asks about about the tips to avoid repetition in abstract discussion and conclusion. Usually, when we use usually the abstract, you say that the conclusion is not from the abstract. So how we can do the
That's a very good question. It's not only you have that problem. I also sometimes I have that problem. You need to rephrase. Okay, you need to rephrase. Okay, because it's just like, you know, it is the same thing. It is the same thing, but you want to make sure that the people don't see it again. It's just like okay, today like I want to wear batik. Tomorrow you want to see, just like that. Okay, that's the first tips. Okay, just like that. Okay, it is you. It is you. Definitely is you. Okay, but you have to represent it in another way. Okay, the gist of it, okay, the what called the essence of it stays, but you need to rephrase it. Okay, perhaps you can combine it with other result. Okay, for instance, perhaps like this. Okay, in the abstract, okay, you just emphasize the most important results. Perhaps in the conclusion, okay, you may have some other result that may support your result. Okay, So this is one of the easiest way for you, okay, to make sure that it doesn't repeat. Okay, I know you need to, okay, the other thing is that you need to extensively read again. Okay, I know some it comes back to the question of native speaker, non-native speaker. I know it comes back to that, but believe me, if you keep on, like for instance, okay, I got a tips. I know this is not directly to the question. Okay, it is about, okay, how to write a good paper. This is in general. Okay, I have one Iranian counterpart last time. Okay, he gave me these tips. When he was already a lecturer, docent, a lecturer in RMIT at that time. He said that when he was a student, he chose, okay, 5 journals, okay, 5 good journals from in your topic, what you are doing now, okay, written by native speaker. Okay, not from the, I know, don't take it as a racist or what, okay. Let's say the paper come from Australia, okay. It is written by Australian, okay, not by Indian, not by Chinese. I'm sorry, I know maybe perhaps there are Chinese Indians here. I'm sorry, not meant to be racist, but it's just a tip from him, not Iranian, okay. A native speaker, white guy. Please choose 5 best journals in your study, okay. Repeat it, okay. Repeat your reading until that you have been dirasuki, something like that. In maybe perhaps Indonesia and also Malaysia also the same. You feel that, okay, you have the gist, okay, you have everything, okay. You have the spirit of the papers with you. This is the tips that he gave me last time when I did my PhD. So you need to like indulge yourself in those papers. So when you read back your papers, make sure that, okay, you use the same word. Okay, another tips I like, even I always mention to my students, okay, you need please use a simple sentences, simple English, simple scientific words and phrases. I know some try to impress perhaps the audience, okay, perhaps the reviewers, or using a very bombastic. It's just like you make acrobatic. Yeah, you pushing sana, you pushing sini. No, don't do that. Okay, simple. Okay, straightforward, and then yeah, the reader will get your point straight, instantaneously. So, okay, I hope this will answer your question. Okay, because I think the question is, although it sounds simple, but it's hard actually. So you need to first make sure. Okay, I wrap up the question. Make sure that the only the most significant, most important result is being emphasized in the abstract. Perhaps in the conclusion, you can accompany it with the other results, okay, to make it, to show that it's stronger. And then, okay, make sure you read it again. There's no repetition, there is no redundancy in terms of the phrases or sentences. Okay, I hope this will help. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any
Thank you.
questions?
Thank you, Dr. Nasrul. Okay, maybe from the other participant, maybe participant can ask directly by raise your hand in the Zoom feature. Okay, while we wait for the participant to ask, maybe, is it true? I heard from from other colleagues that Q1
Sorry,
journal.
I lost the. Can you repeat it again? I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My connection is unstable. Can you hear me clearly, Dr. Nasrul? Is it my connection or? How about now, Dr.
Okay,
Nasrul?
now it's better.
Oh, okay. Okay. I heard from my college, some colleagues.
It's like on and off.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Is my connection is unstable, Miss
Or we can go
Novia?
to the chat.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Maybe I will write it in the chat. Okay.
Okay.
Or you can hear me clearly now.
If let's say my connection is unstable, okay, perhaps you can mention also for me, because I'm not sure whether it's my mistake, it's on my side or from your side. So yeah,
Oh yeah, I lost your voice too. Is it? Is it true that Q1 journals is just for fundamental topic than applied engineering? Because fundamental topic it can be cited by others research, while the applied engineering is just for one topic research. Is it true?
okay. Because I can't I just sometimes can hear you, sometimes I cannot. Okay. Well, first of all, we refer back to the definition. It is more about the impact factor, or the impact factor, which is the Q1 journals are the top 25 of the field. So let's say it is, and okay, the reason why perhaps some of the fundamental can be published in the Q1, or the Q1 is more like inclined towards the fundamental works, because they can get more citations compared to applied. But that is not entirely true. Okay, that's not entirely true. It depends on the what we, for instance, if you see the list of papers, okay, list of papers, the what called the title of the journals, sometimes there's more applied, okay, it's more towards applied. So it depends on the content. That's why we refer back to the scope of the journals, okay, whether your work is more on the applied or more on the fundamental. But on general, okay, we can say it is partially true, because it will gain more citations. Okay, it can gain more citation because it is more general. Okay, it is more fundamental compared to some. Okay, sometimes applied is a big what I call a bit narrow. Okay, it's a bit narrow, and it is confined to certain researchers only. So perhaps that's why, but it is not true if you say that, okay, all the Q1 journals are fundamentals. It's not correct, okay, but it may gain more what we call attention compared to the applied. But there are many Q1 journals, okay, that if you go to those for EE, electronics journals, okay, mostly they are applied. They are applied. Like for instance, IEEE transactions, they are applied. Okay, so there are the opportunities and also chances to publish in the Q1 journals for applied, okay, applied base works. So don't worry on this. Okay, the most important part is that the scope of the journals. You must make sure that these two tunes tune in. Okay. So this is my answer to you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nasrul. Yeah, it's really nice, insightful information for me and for other colleagues. And then about the important point the important point that must be take note to aim higher quartile of journals. What is the important point that must we take note?
Okay, actually, again I can hear you, and but is it something with aim higher?
Aim higher high quartile of journal.
Okay. Okay, there's two things here. First of all, it's about getting published first, okay, to gain your confidence. But the second one is that after you have been indulged in the work, okay, you know your quality of the work, okay, the quality of the work, your that's why I received a tips from he's in Indonesian actually. He's from Aceh, from what you call special district, special district of Aceh. He was a PhD student in Malaysia and become a lecturer in UC Malaya. I know him when he was a PhD student, and then currently he's a lecturer in UTS, University Technology Sydney. Professor Tengku Indra, I think his name. Okay, he said that what is happening in Australia, okay, and perhaps maybe even in the UK and also in the US, uh, try okay, try to see what is the current research in China. Okay, in China, because China is advancing, you know? Okay, even like now is Australia, UK, and the American now are looking what are the latest research. So my tips now is that okay, the keyword is the latest research. Okay, then you from there, okay, first of all, perhaps you have your own research now. Okay, you have your own research now. You work and try to publish it, but later on when you start to what call read further in your field, your works, so you will know what is the latest in your topic. So from there you can move further to your to the better quartile. So this is my suggestion, because I know we need to have some ground first, okay, but now how you are going to move forward. So one of the way to move forward is to know what is the current research that the what I call the top scientists, top researchers in your field are doing now. So it's just like like main bola lah. Playing soccer. Okay, you want to chase the ball. The ball is there, so you chase the ball. So that's my tips. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Nasrul.
Sama-sama.
Okay, and for my last question, about aim higher quartile journals too. Is it true that we must cite an articles in certain journals to publish in those journals?
Okay, can you say it again? Okay.
Do we must cite the articles in some journals to publish in those journals?
Unfortunately, I just get the last word, the journals.
Oh,
I don't get the middle one. Okay, I'm sorry.
I will write it in the
Okay,
chat
thank you.
room.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry for this. Oh, okay. This is politics. Okay. Well, from my point of view, okay, actually, if your work is good, I think we don't need to do that. But just want to we just want to try. I think if the work is relevant, why not? Okay, why not? No? Yeah, this there's no harm of citing the article from that particular journals. I know we are hoping that the journals can publish our work. Okay, this is our hope. Okay, so but okay, if let's say there's a relevant work, I think it is okay. The thing that is troubling us is that if let's say we just cite it for the sake of citing, this is not ethical. Okay, this also applies to self-cite. Sometimes, okay, we want to increase our citation, then we yeah, if even the work is not relevant, we just cite it. So we perhaps that is the one thing that we should avoid. So yeah, for me, okay, if let's say the work is relevant, then it will be okay. But if it is not relevant, so I think we should avoid it. Okay, but I know most of the time they should be. For instance, definitely we want to publish our work. Like I told you about my tips previously, that we have tailored already our article towards that journal. So definitely, I think the entire thousands of articles, I think there should be some relevant articles that is related to us. So I think it's no harm, but don't make it so obvious. I think one or two will be okay, but not like, okay, you have 20 citation, 15 citations from that journal. I think that's too much.
Okay, okay. I will take note it. Thank you, Dr. Nasrul. Okay, maybe from the participant, you can
Yes, on the
ask
floor.
Dr. Nasrul directly by raising your hand, or if there is no questions again, the Q&A session will be. I'm sorry, my connection is unstable, Miss Novia.
Your voice is clear, Mrs. Aida.
Okay, okay, okay. Before we close the Q&A session, maybe I want to conclude, resume the presentation from Dr. Nasrul, that the point of to getting published, we must know the five section of our paper, that abstract, the most important point, which is the trailer for, of our paper, and the most challenging is in abstract, because it is much short. But it's still manageable. So don't worry about writing abstract. And then the tricky one is introduction, and the easiest is theories and method, because we do it ourselves. And then the second easiest is results, and the last is conclusion, which is we must take note that we must do not replicate the abstract. So the important point is in abstract, and in the conclusion, we elaborate the other results in the conclusion. And in the conclusion, we can suggest application and extensions. Maybe from Dr. Nasrul, you can can give the last word for our researchers and research students in here.
Okay, okay, few statements, okay, before we end our session. I hope you enjoy the session, okay. We enjoy the session, and I hope that you can try to publish first, according to the tips that I've given. Okay, maybe perhaps you can try with the conference proceedings first. Okay, perhaps the book chapters together with your supervisors. And the most important thing is that don't be disappointed if your work being rejected. I know this happens to every academicians in the field. So don't be disappointed. It's normal. It's normal in the academic world, okay, to get rejected. But the most important part is that I think you need to be honest, okay. You need to be honest in your work. You need to be ethical, okay, and then you need to be confident. Okay, if you don't have these three are the what we call the fundamental and the strong point of you. Okay, and maybe perhaps now, okay, you can't publish in a very good journal, but if you have these three, okay, inshallah in the maybe 5-10 years, 2-5-10 years, okay, that's your time, inshallah. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Nasrul. Thank you for your time and your insightful presentation. I close this session of R2SEP meeting about getting published. I turn to Miss Novia for the place.
Thank you very much for Associate Professor T.S. Dr. Nasrul Fazli bin Nasir for the inspiring lecture today. And thank you, Mrs. Aida Anifa Amindaman, SDMD, for conducting this amazing session. Please give applause for our inspiring speaker and amazing moderator by using the Zoom action feature for today's empowering session. As a token of appreciation, I would like to present a certificate for our honorable speaker and moderator.
Thank you.
This is the certificate for Associate Professor Dr. Nasrul Fazli bin Nasir. Thank you very much, Professor, for your availability today in providing the lecture session on the site.
Same here. You're most welcome. Sama-sama. Yeah.
For the next, this is the certificate for Mrs. Aida Anifa Amindaman. Thank you for being our moderator today. Before we start, I would like to inform you that we still have future agendas on the SEP until June 2022 with the speaker Associate Professor Fillmore Murillo from Camarines Sur Polytechnic College, the Philippines. You can see it on the poster we are showing you right now, or you can check it out on our Instagram page, pascasajana.its. Before we end today's session, we would like to invite you all participants along with the speaker and moderator to take a group photo. To all participants, please turn on your camera and we will stop sharing now. I will make the countdown. Be ready. Put your face smile. And I will take the picture. Keep smiling. Now that we have finished the group photo, I would like to remind all participants to fill the feedback form provided in the session. Two participants who will get time for it is the participant who comes on time during this event until the end, and also fill the feedback form. Finally, we have reached the end of today's RTOSEP, and we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience during the session from me as the Master of Ceremony and the committee. We will see you again on the upcoming sessions. Once again, thank you everyone for joining the session. Thank you the speaker and the moderator for the inspiring session. Good evening. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Nasrul, Miss Novia.
Bye-bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Mas
Thank
Nasrul.
you.
Bye-bye.
Terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank
Ya.
you. Terima kasih.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mister. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih Bu Novia, Bu Yasanti, dan Mbak Vivi. Saya izin live dulu ya.
Nggih, Bu Aida, matur nuwun sangat.
We have a feedback form for the participants who haven't filled in the feedback form. We still stay for a few minutes so you can fill the feedback.
Sorry, the feedback form is currently not accepting responses.
Coba.
Yeah.
We will open the feedback form until 7 p.m. Please kindly check in regular hours every few minutes.
Is it not open or just error?
We will open it. You can check in a few minutes. We will keep it open until 7 p.m. tonight.